You guys doing it okay? Is there
Doing absolutely perfect. Tim, I want to introduce to you, this is Darnell Dinkins, and Pittsburgher, Shenley High School, just a local standout.
Looks like he plays football.
Take a look on the right hand.
Right.
Okay, that's from the New Orleans Saints, and that was the 2009 Super Bowl champion there.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, glad to have you here. Hey,
Thank you for
if I can
having
do
me.
anything else for you, just give a yell.
You got it, buddy. Thanks, Tim. He's a good man.
Great man.
Good, real good man.
This place
But
is nice.
you know, it's interesting how God has just had his hand on your life right from the beginning of your career.
Absolutely. You know what? God's just really just been doing so many different things in my life and my career that I just have to really just give him all the honor and praise. I can't really take account for anything. He's given me the ability to run, the ability to change direction, but he's been giving me more the ability to deal with the process of situations.
Oh,
Hey, it's good to see you again.
Oh, good to see you too.
Man,
You're busy.
That is so cool you're going to March of Life, man. When is it again?
It's Monday, January 24th this year.
Oh, man, I can't go. I got to work. But you know what? Anything I can do?
Sure, you can distribute flyers because we always have lots of them. Put up a sign.
Oh, yeah.
Pray for us. That would be super.
I could put a big sign on my truck.
That would be great because then you'd be like a mobile billboard.
Right. Now,
that would
where's
work.
it at now?
Cooking with Chef
Washington,
Marcus.
D.C.
Before we get started, I want to thank everyone who donated to Marcus' Magical Christmas. It was a huge success, and over 500 toys were donated.
Wow.
Thanks for watching His Place. You know that every time that you watch His Place, you're helping us because you're watching the program, you're praying for us, but you know there's something else you can do? When you give a gift of $37 or more, what you do is you help His Place to stay on the air. But more than that, what you do is you touch lives around the world. Because what happens is your gift of $37 or more will send you a 12-ounce package of Hope coffee and a His Place mug. So that way you can have the coffee and you can have the mug. The coffee is grown by farmers that used to grow coca for cocaine, and it also helps to sustain the families there and take care of the people there. Also, the profits from the coffee go to help abandoned and abused children around the world, to help them become who God wants for them to be, to give them a hope and a future. So would you go to His Place TV today and give your very best gift of $37 or more, and we'll send you, as our gift, Hope Coffee.
You are looking at a living unborn baby, only 10 weeks after conception. Abortion stops a beating heart.
Is everything going okay?
Everything's going fine.
Good.
You're looking, you're good.
Well,
You're busy.
hey, the place is picked up since the
That's
last time
good.
you were in,
That's good.
and things are happening. We've got a lot of business coming through, a lot of people. I mean, we got the email thing going. We got all these kind of things
Oh,
going.
that's
and so
great.
It's
That's
great.
great.
March for Life is coming up. Huh?
It is. It's going to be on a Monday this year because.
You know what? Let me wait on a few customers. Let me wait on you. What can I get you?
Okay. Something with Irish cream.
Okay, I'll do that for you.
No.
Ho, 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 ho.
the heck are you doing?
These are letters for Santa Marcus.
What are you talking about?
These are letters from all the children to Santa Claus, which would be you, thanking him for all the neat presents.
Get out of town. You serious?
What do you mean get out of town? I'm gonna make my deliveries if I get out of town.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I was just jagging you. That's pretty cool about all these letters, though, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect this. Look at this.
Dear Santa, thanks for the toys. Next year, could you please bring me some for my friend Paul? He didn't get anything, so I shared mine with him.
You better get them elves on that one, huh?
Oh, my God. It hasn't been 2 weeks after Christmas, and I already got my work put out me for next year. Hey, but I'm up for it, though.
I'm sure my letter's in here. I sent one to Santa, but I just didn't get everything on my list, you know?
Huh, imagine that.
Yeah, imagine
I
that,
never
To
believed
go
that,
from
man.
Super Bowl. I mean, that's unbelievable. But you're a Pittsburgh kid. Shanley High School, I understand you were quarterback linebacker?
Quarterback
right?
linebacker, coming through, I was one of the top rated players in the country. And really, from the time I was small, I wanted to be a wrestler. But
is that right?
Yeah, but somehow, some way, I just loved the physicality of the game. I went to Shenley, Coach Trent, really, helped me out a lot. Ended up becoming one of the top 100 players in the country. All these different schools were coming at me. I chose to go to Pitt. And even though growing up, you see athletics or entertainment as a way to become successful, and you see like the shows MTV Cribs, but you don't understand the process in between. I think that's where God really dealt with me. So coming from Shenley, going to Pitt, I endured some hardships. I thought that it would be, I come here, I played quarterback. I had Joe Bertono, I had Virginia Tech, Michigan State,
player, sure.
hometown player. They fed that. I was from the Hill District, so we really didn't have much. My mom was an avid fan, so ended up going to Pitt, and I didn't get a chance to play quarterback. I was told one thing, and some things kind of happened. So I was playing tight end, I was playing receiver, linebacker. I drove the team bus. I was a steward on the planes.
All part of God's plan for you,
All part
right?
of God's plan. It showed me how it's never the situation you in, but how you respond to it. And that was going to be something that's going to be key in my whole life, because each individual situation, whether it was with the Giants or the Saints or in college, I had to learn to adapt to the different situations that I was in.
And you know what? That's not an easy thing to do, is it?
It isn't, especially when you're being told that you're going to do this, you're great, you're going to be our top recruit. And now I go through a situation where I commit 5 years of my life to this school, and I'm thinking I'm going to be the star quarterback. It never really happened. And even in my last year, which was one thing that was vital, I ended up getting hurt. So I had a younger player end up taking over and playing very well. So in the midst of being so angry and coming into the season with so many preseason accolades, and everybody saying, well, you'll be this and be that, now I'm sitting here watching. And instead of being angry or spiteful or bitter, I just chose to be a better team player. That's right. And I think God really, showed me and blessed me because of that.
God really blessed you specifically to persevere.
Yes.
Because coming out of college, it was not an easy road to the NFL.
No. I ended up sitting out a year from college, got married to Shayla Dinkins, had a daughter, Kayla. We then was working. I was doing juvenile probation and doing TSS work, dealing with kids with social anxiety disorder, ADHD. So I would go through a day, I would take her to school, she would work, come home, then I would go do juvenile probation through the day. At 11 o'clock at night, I would be done and go lift weights for about 2 hours and come home, then wake up again at 7. But one thing about it, when you have a plan, when you feel like God has spoken to you, it gives you such a drive that, nothing else will stop you. And so I was determined to get on film, get tape, and play again. So I started playing semi-pro ball with the Pittsburgh Colts, which was, you go from getting dressed at the Super Bowl to getting dressed under a tree. I'm getting dressed underneath a tree before games. And it was just so unreal. But as I was playing, I always found favor where I was going. I would have guys come up and say, you don't belong in this league. I feel like, God is really doing something, with you. So I got tape. One of the biggest things that happened, I had a game where I threw for like 600 yards, threw 7 touchdown passes. And the team in New York actually wanted to sign me as an arena team. So I went up there for a workout. There were 400 guys in a room, and the guy is walking around. He comes and he falls right in front of me. Now, why I didn't laugh, I don't know, but he happened to be a New York Giants scout. I helped him up. He said, you know what, out of all these guys in this room, there was something about you, the way you were throwing. It only had to be God. It had to be God really shining his light on me. I had film. I gave it to him. They brought me back up for a workout. I ended up, they sent me back home, and then a week later, I was driving up to Buffalo for another workout. In the midst of driving up there, I got into a bad accident. My truck hit a patch of black ice, hit an embankment, flipped over 7 times. Walked away with a scar on my face, and the whole time I thought I was sliding on the side, so I must have hit my head harder than I thought.
That's the grace of God, too.
And I thought that I could still push the truck over and make it to the workout. Well, luckily the truck was totaled, and 10 minutes after the actual accident, which was the day after my birthday, I found out, my wife had told me that the Giants had called my home and wanted to sign me to a contract.
It doesn't taste like coffee. It's
No, it's fancy coffee.
Better than coffee.
It's a specialty
Yeah.
drink. It's not just a coffee. It's a specialty drink
It's
now.
good.
You know,
It's
we're
good.
we're doing great things. So, Helen, how are we doing? How are we doing in America with the whole pro-life movement?
You know what? This year is going to be good. There's been too much messing around with men, with women, with the laws and so forth. And when we go to Washington, D.C. this year, we're going to be kicking off a really good year. There's going to be young people. I mean, we thought we were young when we went, 38 years ago. Can you believe?
We were young 38
Oh, yeah,
years ago.
yeah. But now it's high school, college. They have this huge rally in the morning, and the tickets, it gets sold out, immediately. Then there's another service, and the thing is, you got to plan your day because you've got to be moving around, and you get your bus, and the buses are filling up fast. We're surprised, but it's good because I think it's everything's new. It feels like we're getting a chance at renewal again, and there are going to be there's in the big rally at noon where we all go, and then we go and go all the way up Constitution Avenue, and we lobby our senators and our congressmen, and we know when we get there if they're. We know already their voting records and so forth, but the ones that like us will have coffee and cookies, and the other ones will just say, he's not here today, he's off voting someplace. So you know who's who by the time you get there.
But it is cool that many of the leaders in Congress will meet with people and they'll talk with them, even some that are not. I've been there when they're not really strongly in the pro-life camp, but they've still been open to hear what you have to say. Now, in this present political environment,
Yes.
Are you seeing, sometimes when there's more opposition, it's stronger, there's a stronger thing. Is that what's happening now?
It has. Last year there were 150,000 of us there, and that's a big number over previous years, but it's been growing and growing every year. You said sometimes they talk to us. Our inspector always came out and talked to us, even though, we disagreed on everything. So, you're right, it does turn into something political. But you're there with people that you know, and then you see all these people and you realize we're all in this together. And there's people who come from Europe. I mean, there's an Irish contingent, a French contingent, and they have their flags. And then they come from Kansas and California and Chicago, and it's just great. You want to be there.
It's an amazing event.
My coffee has tiny little marshmallows in it.
Oh, it's not coffee.
Is this hot chocolate?
Yes, it is.
I didn't order this. I ordered coffee. I always order coffee.
I'm not allowed to serve coffee.
Well, why didn't you get somebody that can serve it to me?
Everybody else is busy, and I didn't want you to wait. I know how you don't like to wait. Besides, hot chocolate is my favorite, and it's the only thing I'm allowed to make here.
It's not my favorite. I always order coffee. You have to give me cream or sugar or anything.
I'm not allowed to do that. Marcus can come by and put some coffee in your hot chocolate if you want him to.
I see a pot over there. Give me a cup.
I don't want to get in trouble. Oh, let me call Marcus. Marcus, can you get Mr. Wiley a cup of coffee? I tried to get him hot chocolate, but he doesn't want it. You know how particular he is. Yes, I tried to tell him that you'd put coffee in his hot chocolate, but he doesn't want that either. All right, thanks.
If I told people about this, they wouldn't believe it. Never would believe it.
His place, his place.
ready to go home today?
Definitely.
Let's take a look.
This year, more than 27,000 children will be diagnosed with a life-threatening medical condition.
You are good to go.
Through the course of their treatment, many of them will miss school. Many of them will miss spending time with their family and friends.
So, have you made your decision yet?
Yeah, I think so.
And many will simply miss being a kid.
Here we go.
But you can lift their spirits and give them a special kind of hope. There are thousands of wishes waiting to come true. You can make it happen. Find out how today at wish.org.
Thanks for watching His Place. You know that every time that you watch His Place, you're helping us because you're watching the program, you're praying for us, but you know there's something else you can do? When you give a gift of $37 or more, what you do is you help His Place to stay on the air. But more than that, what you do is you touch lives around the world. Because what happens is your gift of $37 or more will send you a 12-ounce package of Hope coffee and a His Place mug. So that way you can have the coffee and you can have the mug. The coffee is grown by farmers that used to grow coca for cocaine, and it also helps to sustain the families there and take care of the people there. And also, the profits from the coffee go to help abandoned and abused children around the world, to help them become who God wants for them to be, to give them a hope and a future. So would you go to His Place TV today and give your very best gift of $37 or more, and we'll send you, as our gift, Hope Coffee.
Hey, Mr. Riley, look at all these letters that the kids wrote that got received presents for the Marcus Magical Christmas. Look at this, look at this. Look at this one here. Dear Santa, thanks for all the games and toys. My sisters and I played with them all day. Then my cousins came over and we played some more. I love you, Santa. I'm Santa, they love me. We think of that, that's crazy.
That is really nice, Marcus. Good job.
Hey, thank you.
You know what would be really nice, too?
What?
You give me a cup of coffee.
Okay, keep the bow tie on. Mr. Dingles off to get some.
All the talk, obviously, this time of the year and in this town, being such a football town, to the Super Bowl. What in the world was that experience like? Was it as harried and as chaotic as they say?
It is, you know, and I think you don't understand the vastness of it until you're in it. You know, you hear a lot of guys talk about it. You obviously, being from Pittsburgh, you see it all the time.
Right.
But to actually experience it yourself, there's so many media outlets there. There's so much hype and hoopla. And the great thing with us, when we went through it, was that Peyton Manning was going through it. So everybody focused so much on Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts, they forgot about the poor little old Saints over here. You know, so our coach would always say, it's better being a better team and being an underdog because you have no pressure. And so leading up to that whole week, I was just saying there's so many guys who've played this game, which is only just a game. There's so many messages that transcend through this game, but play this game and never have experienced this game, have never experienced going into a Super Bowl. So I was just thankful and honored that in the midst of, I'm gonna rewind real quick. In Hawaii, I was a player for the Browns.
Sure.
I was a free agent, was going through contract stuff. So I was praying, and with my wife, I'm like, I'm gonna pray this year that I'm gonna play for the black and gold. Die-hard Steelers fan through and through. But obviously, God is a God who likes to laugh at us sometimes. So we have to be specific in our prayers. So I should have said black and more yellowish gold. So I prayed for black and gold. He put me with the Saints, and the rest is history. That kickoff, the opening kickoff, how you always see the lights flash and everything.
Flashes of the cameras,
it was absolutely
and everything.
amazing. I'm just thankful that I got a chance to experience, got a chance of being one of the most electrifying Super Bowls that I've ever seen and been a part of.
It is.
And then obviously,
and you represented the city of New Orleans, and I think that was a story in and of itself.
It was.
To be able to take that and just, I truly believe that everybody in the country, I mean, you just had to feel for what the city of New Orleans had gone through, and then now for their team to be in the Super Bowl. And I think everybody embraced that and made them our team.
They really did, because there was so much that happened to them, you know, from Katrina to all the things that happened to a lot of towns that are still not built up.
That's right.
So when you really go down there, you see a sense I don't think Katrina could have happened in any other place other than New Orleans, because the outlook on life is that we're going to continue to make it regardless of our circumstances. Right. And I really just appreciate all the people that are down there, because there was no bad attitudes. If you go to restaurants, they love the Saints. And the Saints, this is a team that has not won like the Steelers.
That's right.
They've been losers
There was a
year
period
in
when
year.
they were the Aints.
The Aints, exactly. So now you come through and they love everything that you're doing. And to be able to win a Super Bowl for this town at that particular time, and all the things that led up with Drew Brees coming back, with Coach Payton, it was just almost storybook. It was a storybook season.
Darnell, what I appreciate about you is God's given you an unbelievable opportunity.
Yes.
So unique to be a Super Bowl and Super Bowl champion. But you're also utilizing that opportunity now as your platform.
Yes.
And you're taking advantage of that and sharing that blessing with other people.
Yes, I believe that I've played for 9 years. I've been able to make it to the pros through the back door. I've been able to do these things because God, through the testimony, that's how we learn. When you look at the Bible, it's not stories of everything being, grand and luxurious, but it's about people overcoming. Joseph,
in spite of.
Yes, Joseph overcoming adversity, even though his family, led him, astray.
Right.
David overcoming Goliath. David
Right,
overcoming
right.
Saul. So I believe that God allowed these things to happen to me so I could tell youth that, even though situations may not go the way you want to, even though a door may get closed in your face, even though somebody may spit in your face to tell you what you can't do, if you keep your focus and your faith on God, you can be like Peter. You can walk on that water if you keep your eyes on him. Don't look at your circumstances around you, because that's what will make you fall.
When we're in the midst of that trial, we don't need to look down at how deep that water is. We need to keep our eyes on Christ.
That's right.
That's your essence of your message to kids, isn't it?
It is, and the essence is that keep your eyes on God, not the circumstances, but then welcome adversity. At the same time, which is almost like, kind of different, but welcome adversity. It says in 1 James that you consider joy the various trials of life, for when your faith is tested, it produces patience. And when your patience is made whole and complete, you'll be lacking nothing. And that's just saying that the more you understand that adversity is going to happen, the less you kind of get all flustered about it, but just accept it. And God is really looking at a response to the situation, not the situation. And I think that's the message that I can tell kids. I was in a situation where I was one of the top players.
You're telling me
and
that
now
the
you're saying
pro-life
that I'm
commercials are now on MTV and
Yes.
BET, and how did it end up on? I mean, MTV I think would be one of the last outlets.
We don't watch MTV. We don't watch the channels that I don't even know the numbers for, but those are the channels that the young people watch. Those are the channels that
The kids tune into MTV all the time.
Yeah.
And the ones that are finding themselves pregnant, the ones that are they want to be
Correct. And so you get them on there. If we put them on, I don't know, KDKA, and there are some on KDKA with Norma McCorvey for post-abortum women.
The CBS station.
Yes, and they're going to be on. They're on right now. And
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So the pro-life movement has been able to raise the money to do that, and they're targeting the audiences that they know.
Well, we have a great guy. His name's Chris Humphrey, and you got to meet him. You have to meet him, and I'll bring him in someday.
Yeah, that'd be good. I'll
Yeah.
buy him a cup of coffee.
Yeah. But you got to also, let people know we're going to have a prayer breakfast before the march. And John Patterson.
Oh, yeah.
Well, John's our speaker this
Good,
year.
good.
His fervor, his determination, his love for the Lord.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah. So that's going to be, and it's all in our newsletter, and it's all on our website. So
For
you
people
can,
concerned for the unborn child.
yes, pcuc.org.
Okay. Is there one particular instance, one young lady, one situation on a march that you remember that kind of highlights? It's like, you know what, this really is why we do the march.
Yes, I could say there's there's a lady right now that we're waiting for her to have her baby, and she changed her mind because she saw us, because she knows that that's what the march is going to help people with. Eileen Vogel and I were both pregnant at the first March for Life, so our kids went before they were born, and that was cool because you just you're part of it, and yet you know that you're not hiding, but you're holding on to something that's so precious. And I love to. There was a girl one year, and she had a sign that said, "I'm 18 years old today, If I had been aborted, I wouldn't be here. Yes. And you know that if 6 pro-abortion people show up, you know what the media's going to do. They're going to be watching them.
Well, Helen, I've got to check on Joe here and make sure I've got things going. But thanks for coming in. You know what? I'll get you a refill on that
Oh,
coffee.
I would like
Don't
that.
go away.
Thank you.
Don't go away. So did you get everything delivered? You get everything put away in the back
I'm
for me?
just trying to think of slogans I can put on my protest signs, man. I'm going to go to Washington, D.C. I'm going to protest.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. I appreciate you doing that. Did you talk to Helen at all?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
But she's, we got the March for Life every year. It's a very cool thing. But let me challenge you about something, okay? I want you to think about this for a moment. If you go to Washington and you participate in the protests, that is a very cool thing. It shows our senators and our congressmen really where we stand, and that there are a lot of people that are standing for the pro-life movement, and that is very cool. But can I challenge you to take it a step further? Think about, look around in your neighborhood, look around in your church, look around, with people that you deliver to and things like that, and see if there aren't some young girls that are in the situation where maybe they are pregnant and they don't know what to do. And maybe what you can do is, I like to be proactive with things. Maybe what you can do is, in addition to going down and protesting, maybe you can ask her, do you have a car seat? Do you have a crib? Is there some other way, that I can help you? Talk with your wife, and if you want to take it really a step further, you can talk with your wife and say, you know what, honey, we've got a spare room in the house. Maybe we can invite one of these girls in that don't have a place to stay or whatever. They're getting kicked out of their home because they're pregnant, or they're really in trouble and they need some help. Because one of the ways, what we want to do is not only stop and make abortion illegal in the United States, but we want to make it so that these young ladies that find themselves in the situation, that they know that they're loved, they know that they're cared for, and they know that God loves them as well.
I mean, that's the thing. To a lot of people, it's easier to protest, than to actually do something.
But it's good. I mean, it's good. It's good to let our government leaders know and things like that. But it's also good to take it a step further and say, you know what, let me be Jesus to this one young woman here. And it's only one. You only need one.
Yeah, I mean, that is good thinking, though, Tim.
You can do it.
Maybe I can do it.
Hey, did you get the rest of the order?
Yeah, I got everything.
Okay, good.
Thanks, Tim.
You guys doing okay?
His place, his place.
All right, thank you for tuning in to another His Place. We're so glad that you are with us and that you tuned in during the program. Tune in for our next one when Darnell Dinkins is going to be back with us. But if you want more information about the March for Life, if you want more information about Darnell Dinkins, if you want more information about His Place, go to hisplace.tv, and you can find out, and you can let your friends and family know where they can watch His Place around the country. You can find out more about how to get a cup, coffee, or just find out about the show.